Welcome back to Uprising. I'm Sonali Kolhatkar. This week marks the 15th anniversary of a momentous occasion in history, the battle in Seattle. Considered a major turning point for direct democracy movements the world over, tens of thousands of people from varying walks of life gathered in Seattle, Washington in late November and early December 1999. Their self-proclaimed task was to shut down the World Trade Organization's ministerial meeting. Organized labor unions joined forces with environmental groups. Students rallied alongside veteran activists. Together, they brought the city to a halt, and for a precious few days captured world attention to the nefarious activities of a global organization intent on rewriting the rules of finance to favor the rich. Despite the September 11th attacks a few years later, throwing off the momentum of the anti-globalization movement, as it came to be called, many of those same activists regrouped. They formed the backbone of the anti-Iraq war protests. Some even occupied Wall Street more than 10 years after Seattle. In the meantime, direct democracy became even more commonplace overseas, even in some countries where mass movements had not been seen in years. The Arab Spring emerged and continues. Quebec to the north and Mexico to the south rose up. And today, Ferguson has become the flashpoint for a democratic demand for justice. Just how historic was the battle in Seattle? My guest is Ben Manski. He's the president of Liberty Tree Foundation, a group working to build a democracy movement for the U.S. since 2004. And he's recently written about the Seattle Uprising, asking if it's still a force in world events. Welcome to Uprising, Ben.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. So how historic was it, especially for the U.S., where mass movements of that kind at that point, especially in the 1990s, had become a sort of rarity?
Well, for those of us who were there, it was a moment that many of us didn't think that we would necessarily see in our lifetimes. It was a moment of genuine liberation in the tens of thousands, 100,000 people who gathered in the streets of Seattle. We could see the new society emerging, the power of mass movements when we come together and when we exert democratic power. And that is something that luckily we've gotten to experience several times since then. But I've heard from people who were watching the events in Seattle, around the United States and around the world, that for them it had a similar kind of effect. It was very inspiring to regular people who had not become engaged. Many people became engaged after what they saw happen in Seattle. Many of those who were involved in various movements stepped up their activity and began to refocus, to say, well, if this was significant, how can we build more of this?
Right.